actual real-life example we, the player base, have of Blizzard's new roadmap certified more content, more often, WoW expansion patch cadence revolution.
They better do something else the game's gonna die.
Next weekend, and it's my birthday, so please allow me to tell you everything we know about it now in our 10.05 guide. Do we have music for the 10.05 guide? Inspiration Catalyst patch 10.05.
Oh, Snake Man!
Yeah, that'll do. The Inspiration Catalyst will release with this new
It's like
patch,
a Dragon Sneaky Man.
meaning that players can finally start to transform their Season 1 non-tier pieces into Season 1 tier pieces. Tier pieces. At the time of recording, we still don't have many details on the nitty-gritty of this system, but assuming that it's basically the same as the 9.2 version, which seems a pretty safe bet, players will gain 1 catalyst charge per week, accumulating like sparks of ingenuity. So if you bring an alt to the Dragon Isles 3 weeks into the patch, they will have 3 charges to use straight up. Crafted gear cannot be
Oh, that's
kind of
nice. So if you want to jump into a different class.
This bit is an educated guess.
Thank God.
It has not been confirmed.
Because who wants to like keep playing the same class? At the end of the day, sometimes you choose and it doesn't work.
World gearing option, in much the same way as Sand-worn relic gear was in Shadowlands. And yes, to many players, the introduction of the Catalyst comes too late to be meaningful, and that may be true. In fact, let's say it is true. But I think it's also true to say that even with the Catalyst opening now, and also the Great Vault awarding tier, even in Mythic Plus and PvP slots, Vault of Incarnates is objectively the easiest raid to complete your tier set in World of Warcraft history. And also, I have 1 piece of tier right now, so I'm very much looking forward to it as the bad luck protection that it's obviously meant to be. That relief kind of takes over any feelings of anger.
They haven't met my bad luck,
though.
though.
The Catalyst opening late, but not the anger and resentment I feel towards my own raid team for not giving me the tier, though. I remember early interviews for Dragonflight talked about utilizing crafting professions in some way with the creation Catalyst. Like, maybe you'd have to put in a work order to have your Catalyst token charged every week so you could use it. That looks 100% not to be a thing, which is probably for the best at the moment, but I wonder if it's something we might see explored in future seasons. Transmogging in grey and white in Dragonflight patch 10.05. Grey and
Yes,
white
actually.
items are transmoggable in 10.05. This is the kind of update where some people won't care, a minority of people will be like, oh, neat, and a significant minority of people will consider it the most important and anticipated change in the entire.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people out there like, yes, Slutmogs! I needed this 1 piece to make my blood elf look more like a whore. Yes. And then there's a few that are like, you know what? This is perfect for my class to make it look like my class aesthetic. And then the rest are gonna be like, this looks like shit. It's like 2 polygons. I refuse to wear it. But, you know, it's gonna make them people happy. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that they're adding more, that's the best they can really do. Because it doesn't hurt to not, it hurts more not having it than it does to have it, so.
Game since transmog was first introduced, because of the whole new world of often very normie looking low-key clothing and weapon options it will unlock. If I belong to any of those categories, it's probably the last one, to be honest. The bad news is that unlike when transmog was first introduced, you're gonna have to go and collect all of those grey and white items again from scratch, unless you've got them all in your bank already. The good news
Nobody
is that
does.
in the smorgasbord,
If you don't have the add-on scrap or something like that, where it just gets rid of all that shit, I'm sorry.
Reach revamp last expansion are back and available.
It's probably
to
some
purchase
person though.
from
Some
vendors
person's like,
installed
yes,
on the
finally!
30 copper each, which works out at about 5 copper per pixel. We've got a link to a Wowhead article in the description below, which gives you the exact location of each vendor, as well as a few other articles we think you'll find interesting too. Dragonfly motion sickness reduction in Dragonfly patch 10.05. There are new accessibility.
See, I didn't have that. I get motion sickness all the time. Like, I can't play Minecraft, motion sick. First person, motion sick. And like, I've literally, and it's only gotten, like, as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the type of person I can't read a book in the car type deal while we're driving. So when I heard, this gets motion sickness, I was like, oh no, I'll be that. It's gonna make me sick. It really hasn't. The only issue I found is like I hate when they like zoom in, like as you're going faster, because that's like a pain in the ass. Because it zooms me in, and I always miss like when I'm doing the races and I'm trying to like be like boop 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 boop, boop around. I'll straight run into shit or miss the thing because like it does a sharp turn and I wasn't like pre being able to like pre-see what was about to happen. So, but you know, if it helps, it helps.
Ability options for reducing motion sickness in dragon riding, landscape darkening, which increasingly darkens the edges of the screen as you gain speed, a focal circle, and a combination of the two. And I mean, you're going to know if that helps reduce your motion sickness, obviously, and I hope it does. I can safely say that the landscape darkening one literally made me feel sick for the first time when I was testing it, but that's okay, because it's not for me, because I have no trouble dragon riding normally. But seriously though, it did make me feel sick. It was really weird. Oh, another smaller thing, not a 10.05 feature really, but something that will happen during the patch. Happy Chinese New Year in Dragonflight patch 10.05.
Oh my god,
the
the bunny.
latest Chinese New Year mount in the form of the cute yet scarily dead-eyed blue bunny. Aww. We already know that this is included free as part of the 12
Oh, it's wet.
and it will
The web
go on the store
rabbit.
too for the usual
Icky.
$25 or whatever it is where you are. And look, if you like those
It's
Lunar
just throwing
Festival
water
mounts,
everywhere.
and I do. The pig is a 9-carat grade A S tier classic. Well, make the most of this one because, you know, it's quite feasible this will be the last one. That's all I'm saying. Hello,
I doubt it.
Edison here with something that
Look,
I
look.
really wanted to include that has only just come to light in the last couple of hours. Of course, the final wing of LFR opens this week as well, meaning that everyone gets a chance to kill Razageth. It's probably one of the reasons
Everyone
why
gets to be
10.05 is
carried,
coming
yes.
next week. And it turns out
I
that
too
the
like to
special
AFK and
Razageth
watch
Highland
stuff
Drake
and
customization
act like
drops from
I'm
that
doing
final boss
damage.
on LFR difficulty as well, which is awesome because it means now everyone can get it, but also bad because it means everyone can get it. It's awesome. Okay, thanks, bye. Okay, more substantial stuff. Primalist tomorrow in Dragonflight 10.05 the patch. The Storm's Fury event in the Primalist tomorrow. This is all the new Dragonflight gameplay that arrives in patch 10.05 in the form of a repeatable event in the Primalist tomorrow, which Blizz say is on a 5-hour timer and which, fair play, has a bit more to it than the couple of new world quests that I assumed it would be, but not much. Basically, there's a big boss in the middle of the area protected by a shield with 4 sigils around the zone that need to be captured all at the same time, like PvP towers, to disable the shield and take out the boss. So, like, you clear the area of...
I hope it's like capture one and then move on to the next. Because if they're gonna try to like coordinate this shit, that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
mobs, and then you remain physically close to the sigil while that capture bar progresses a set amount. Currently on the PTR, the mobs defending the sigils do respawn, which means this is very much a large group event, because it's essentially impossible to hold all 4 sigils and access the boss with less than, well, at least 4 players, but in reality, you're gonna need a few more. There's also a super annoying freezing debuff that causes ticking damage and stacks once every 5 seconds, up to 20 stacks. And yeah, I know, that massive pain in the ass, but which can be mitigated by seeking out heat sources around the zone.
Oh,
The
that's
boss
kind of
and
cool.
mobs of the Storm's Fury event drop our old friend Elemental Overflow and Essence of the Storm, a new currency which can be used to buy rewards from the event vendor, where you can bag yourself a recolored pet, a Hornstride
Oh,
mount,
that
the
thing's
first and so
adorable.
far only Hornstride mount to use the new Dragonflight model, a
I was say, wait, that's the same model for the it's a chicken. What kind of chicken? I don't know. Oh, it would be the Blood Elf chicken, and then that got remodeled and got used a lot for the pink flamingo. I can't think of the name. I'm horrible with names, but if you know the mount, you know the mount. I think there's also one that drops from the Easter event. That's like a white one. They're horrible looking. They're just plain striders, but it's kind of nice that they, I seen these and was like, ooh, I won't. But like, how do I get? And I was like, they probably won't make it into a mount, but It
Storm that
didn't.
chases your friends. The Stormed Primalist Cache, which contains a Storm Sigil, some Dragon Isle supplies, and a chance at also dropping Primalist cosmetic armor and weapons. A 385 primary stat trinket, which does that thing where it also randomly spawns an area that you can stand in for a haste and movement speed buff. And yeah, I know, that. And also a necklace and 2 rings.
Don't
whose
bring
main
no
purpose is
Final
to help
Fantasy mechanics in
further
here.
mitigate
Fuck a
that
black mage is what they're
superiority
saying.
debuff. So all in all, these are really an
Or
extension
arcade mage
of the
too.
elemental
Oh, I
storm
hate it standing
events,
in the
and
circle.
as such, aren't particularly earth-shattering, and also unlikely to be bothered with at all by people who don't bother with elemental storms. Like me. And that's okay, honestly. It's just another neat optional event in an expansion jam-packed with neat little optional events. And all the better for it, frankly. Something that far more people will be engaging with in Dragonflight and beyond is the new trading post. It's the trading post.
So,
Dragonflight patch 10.05.
I haven't read, but I'm guessing is this thing like that thing's a permanent thing? Are they supposed to be redoing it from what it sounds? Hopefully it's something that like every couple patches they change it up and it becomes something different and not just like a add-on like how they just did like, oh, here's World Quest, everyone gets them, it's always a thing. Because that's kind of meh. But we'll see.
Coming next week,
but new stuff!
The marquee headline feature of 10.05, the thing that definitely isn't a battle pass, and which gives players a selection of new and old cosmetics, pets, and mounts to buy for themselves every month.
How do I buy it though?
On the mechanics and details of the trading post in past episodes.
Oh, I don't want to watch them.
Players will have a maximum of 1,000 traders tenders to spend every month, account wide. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 character or 50. The max is 1,000 tendies per month. 500.
What do you mean? What was that? Go back. It was adorable. No, no one cares about that. No one cares about that. No one cares. Show me. I swear to God. Look at it. It's so cute. If it doesn't do the dance, I don't want it. I want the belly dance. I want the full-on belly jiggle dance. That is the most adorable thing ever.
If you have 1 character or 50, the max is 1,000 tendies per month. 500 tendies are yours just for logging in during the month. The other 500 are earned by completing any from a selection of small challenges, which are, for the most part, incredibly passive. Killing bosses in raids and dungeons, completing quests, selling things on the auction house.
Oh, they have a big option.
Players, taking part in holiday events. It's the kind of stuff that you'll often complete without even realizing. But like I say, never more than the 1,000 total tendies a month.
Yeah, see, I was worried that they was just going to decide to do like was going to be the grind. You know what I mean? I mean, if you really think about it, this was their way of kind of replacing like that grind. They don't have to, like, because you don't have to do it, but it's items that might not be around for a while. I mean, I'd rather have this than have to level up my weapons or my necklace or what the fuck did Shadowlands have? Your covenants, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, they didn't have an item, but they still had to grind. So what was it? Covenants and some other shit. Adding this at least gives people a choice of like, you don't feel like you have to. And the fact that they're giving you so much to do to earn it is kind of nice. So they're just kind of rewarding you for playing, and then they're giving more people a incentive to play. I mean, it got me excited. Like, for someone that's, sometimes you don't feel like, being a part of a raid group and whatnot, it just gives me extra incentive to like, ooh, there's something I can feel and do and get stuff. Ooh, yay. And like, it just, yeah, something in my brain, it makes me happy about it.
Month. Except, hang on, what's this that's just appeared on Wowhead? Bonus traders tendies for the trading post when purchasing Dragonflight? Wait, are you telling me that new players buying Dragonflight now in February will get an extra 500 tendies? Holy shit, Blizz, what the fuck? This is a slap in the face, Blizz, to all loyal players that bought the game at release, or, you know, pre-ordered months in advance even. This is a spit down the throat
I bet everyone
to
gets
every
it.
long-term player of the game to be awarding extra tendies to entice new players who didn't even pre-order into the expansion. You! Clearly our loyal subs don't matter to you, Blizz, or should I say Active Blizz, or should I say Kotick Blizzard? Oh wait, oh no, hang on, sorry, it's 500 extra tendies for literally anyone who owns Dragonflight, no matter when they bought it. Okay, that's fine, yeah, no, forget I ever said anything. Forget I played that scary music. Sorry about the scary music. Sorry about the shouting. It's fine. Oh well, that's nice. And it means that if
I mean, it's
prices are
sad
the
that
same
it
as
could have
they
been
were
true.
when we could actually check them in the PTR,
Blizzard's been
then
that shitty.
everyone will be able to afford the 2 headline items on the trading post in February, the Celestial Speed and the Flaming Sex Flail in the first month. I don't think it's officially called the Flaming Sex Flail, but that's what I call it because it absolutely f***s. The items available to purchase on the trading post refresh each
That was a
month,
good one,
and for
actually.
at least some items, like the cloaks and hoods and scarves, which we've data mined 12 color variations of, it looks like they won't be back in the trading post for another year after that. But you can freeze one item of your choice every month to carry over and keep available for purchase the next month, if you like, to take the edge off that FOMO, because FOMO can be sharp, you know. You don't want to be cutting yourself on that FOMO. Completing the required amount of challenges
kinda
and
nice.
filling the definitely not a battle pass bar for your extra 500
That's something
tendies
they didn't have to
also
add,
awards
but
you
that's nice, though.
free big headline item for the month too.
Especially for people that can't play at a
Celestial
time.
Tiger Mount Ashadar, Harbinger of Dawn, and it looks likely that future months will see the Moon.
That kind of looks like ass a little bit. Like, it just looks like it's like when you have a transmog and it all look, yeah, like the shoulders are new, like the belt's new, but like you decided to make the chest like a from a Graph Village King and everything else is from like BFA or Shadowlands, and you're like, ooh, I can see them pixels. I can really see them, and they're not mixing. I mean, it's like overall, if you really don't look at it too hard, it's nice, but like, I don't know.
Version of this mount and the 2 corresponding versions of Warden Transmog.
Yeah.
I know, being awarded in the same way. Overall, this is an obvious sub-retention scheme, but there's nothing wrong with retaining my sub. Like, I want to have good reasons to retain my sub, and honestly, in my opinion, the trading post is exactly the kind of thing I think this game has needed for a while. So I'm optimistically all in. I cannot wait to see how it plays out. The obvious caveat to this excitement is that those traders' tendies never find their way onto the store for real money, because that would undermine the entire point of the trading post. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised to see items like the fuck flail pop up on the store when they're currently out of rotation on the trading post. And honestly, I wouldn't mind that. That's what Final Fantasy XIV does, and no one seems to mind that. Oh, there is one other change I wanted to discuss today. Changes to work orders in Dragonflight 10.05 maybe. Blizzard recently released a blue post about professions, and in particular, public orders. The post was one of those, we're going to make changes, but this isn't a post telling you what changes, this is a post telling you that there will be changes and that we are working on it posts, where they acknowledge that player engagement with the public order system has not really been on the level that they may have imagined when they conceived of the system, and that basically there are never any public orders to do, to the extent that it feels kind of stupid calling them public orders at all, really. They should probably be called mythical orders, or someone told me about this thing, but it was definitely a lie orders, or just no orders. But as well as the announcement of those upcoming changes, it appears that we may have had a glimpse of one on the PTR, where the maximum public orders that a character can complete in a given week has been reduced from 20 to 4, and that's an extreme reduction, isn't it? But don't worry, because the community reaction to it was anything but. In fact, I'm pretty sure you'd have been impressed with just how calm and reasoned the forums were about this PTR change, and how, whether they were in favor of it or not, they discussed.
So wait, they took it down. Maximum public order was reduced to 4. Does that mean like only you can put up 4 or fulfill 4? because like if you can only fill 4 of them, that's kind of stupid. But if you can only put up 4, like you make 4 items and you put them up there, um, that makes more sense. Because I bet there's a bunch of people like just making a bunch of shit, filling a bunch of orders. Maybe that's probably what's happening either way. Oop, that lovely, face. What's going on? Sorry, Callie.
The matter delicately and with a kind of nuance that you would usually only find in... No, it was a shit show. Obviously. Huge L. My personal opinion is that professions are a scam. Tell us you have no idea what you're doing without saying you have no idea what you're doing. The system is a joke. This crafting system is a total failure. This crafting system is a total failure. Ah, right. Okay, well, first things first, I think that there's a lot that you can say about Dragonflight's crafting system and the different elements of it. And I think that there are many ways, surprising ways even, that it's been a tremendous success. Most importantly, the professions themselves that I've played are all extremely rich, enjoyable, and satisfying to engage in. They are fun to do and progress, in my opinion. I personally have really enjoyed taking Inscription on my main, specifically so that I could craft my own staff and upgrade it across the patch, and hopefully the entire expansion. Longtime viewers will know that one of my big WoW dreams has always been my very own crafted artifact weapon, and Dragonflight has finally made Taliesin's law a reality. And another thing that I didn't expect was that the desire to be able to guarantee a minimum quality on the more important, expensive goods has genuinely seen players hunting down those crafters on their server, interacting with them to get their stuff made. Because, yeah, you know, no one wants to buy all the shit you need for a lariat and put in a public work order only for it to come back as a quad diamond version, because the absolute charlatan who picked up your order could never have made it at the precious pentagold quality anyway. And who wants a quad diamond item? No one. No one wants a quad diamond item. And that's something I never thought would actually work and happen, and it's...
I have no idea what he means. I should have gotten the worker. I didn't even look it up. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. It's a war. I'll check it out later. Haven't done it. Haven't even.
Awesome to see. I also really enjoy getting stuff made by guildies through guild orders, which is, I think, how most people probably go about it. But there is no doubt at all that Blizzard and the player base are very disappointed with how little players are interacting with or getting from the public order system. It's just not something which is part of the day-to-day in-game business, as Blizz and the player base hoped it would be. And the reason for that is very obvious in my opinion, and so is the easiest fix. Being able to assign a minimum quality to your public order when you place it like you can guild and personal orders. Like I say, at the moment, no one really wants to place public orders for lariats or weapons or armor pieces or limited diamonds, etc.
That's so silly. That's not automatically being done.
Often running into the tens of thousands of gold, and it feels like too big a risk to take most of the time to then have that item come back at quad diamond. Ah, it hurts my mouth to even say it. Now that would, undoubtedly, at a stroke, go a long way to fixing the dearth of public orders available at any one time. But I don't think it's the correct fix, because it would destroy something good that Dragonflight's work order system has achieved. Having to find that specific crafter on your realm or guildie that can make your thing for you at either guaranteed max quality or who is willing to stand there with you, recrafting it.
Why is there so many? It's... Why? Why do I have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4 different, like, values? That's, why is there just not, like, just 2? Which is, like, normal and then, like, epic. Or whatever they want to put it, you know what I mean? It's kind of odd. And then, like, just have, you know, I mean, I don't know how they do it now, if it's, like, specifically you can make that item be that, but if it's just a chance that it will, you know, buff it, or if there's certain ways you could do it to add, like, better, like, up your herbs, or I don't know, combine them into something, I don't know. But it ain't gonna work the way they work now.
Until they get the inspiration proc they need to get it up there. You may think that no one does that just because you are completely unwilling to, and that's fair enough, but I promise you that plenty of people are willing to go out and hunt down those handful of crafters they need and work with them on a personal level to get their gear made. And I think that's a really good thing. Actually, that's a great thing. Like, there is nothing more MMORPG than that. And allowing a minimum quality option on public orders would wipe it out. And I think Blizzard know that, and they don't want it. I think this change to the maximum work public orders per week, if it ever sees the light of day, is a good one, actually. At least in the short term. Because I don't think the number is arbitrarily plucked from thin air. Blizz know how many work orders are typically in the system now that the game is live. And I'm pretty confident if reducing the amount of public orders that players are allowed to complete in a week by 80% probably will result in more chance that more players will bag a couple for themselves. Don't forget that public orders near expiry don't count towards that limit anyway, and obviously personal and guild orders don't either. So yeah, I think this is a good change in the short term. Now, long term, I think the way you solve public orders is to have more of the items that you need regularly, but which don't have a quality rating, and which aren't available to be put on the auction house. The public order system is great already for treaties and dragon customizations, for example. So let's lean into that. And honestly, what I would do, I would take quality rating off of consumables like potions, weapon runes, Vantus runes, non-weapon enchants, things like that. And furthermore, I would make those consumables not able to be sold on the auction house. So public orders would be where you have to go for those things if you can't make them yourself. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Tally, that means I have to buy my pots and vials and everything else way before the raid. To which I would say, you already have to buy them before the raid. To which you would say, no, but I mean like way before the raid. And like, no, the entire issue here is that public orders get fulfilled instantly by just a handful of people, and there are hundreds more people behind them hoping for a chance to make something themselves. You're not going to be stuck waiting for this shit. That's like the whole point of what we're talking about. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but doesn't that also mean getting rid of quality on mats like herbs and ores too? And no, it wouldn't, because, well, for one, there are loads of craft that still benefit from better quality mats that I'm not suggesting we change here, but also using good quality mats could still be better for the crafter and consumer, even if they don't affect the quality of the end product. It can affect the volume. Make it so better quality mats have a higher multi-craft chance, so that customers are incentivized to include them in their order above low quality mats. This is only half my fix though, because I would also make it easier for players to connect to the crafters that can make their super expensive high-end stuff, to encourage more people to engage in the system that way. So what if, on that work order screen where you select the item you want and include your mats and set the minimum quality and commission, there was then the option to list all of the crafters on your realm with the minimum quality that they could guarantee to make your item with those mats, and also the chance that they'd be able
and people would probably just start yeah, I mean, people would just play favorites then. I mean, I get the idea of like, yeah, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, definitely people would probably start, like, if someone, was that butthole that you ran into that was trash in a dungeon, and you know who he was and you remember his name, you ain't picking him. Or if the people get on the forums and start slurring people's names or something, it's never tell.
able to inspiration proc it to max quality, and then from there you could send them a personal work order. Crafters could even specify a minimum commission that they'd make the item for on the same screen. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Tally, the people at the top of the list would just get all of the work orders. To which I say, dude, right now no one is getting any work orders anyway, so this doesn't make anything worse. And at the moment, if I'm, say, I don't know, a staff maker who can make guaranteed pentagold staves up to a certain item level, then currently no one knows that unless I'm willing to spam trade chat all day telling people. And I'm not going to do that because that would involve opening trade chat for the first time in 15 years. And I don't think I'm quite there yet. Mavanwi Argent Dawn EU for all your pentagold stave needs. So this directory idea would at least have me listed and greatly increase my chances of receiving a personal order from the 0 that it currently stands at now. Anyway, if the top 1 or 2 crafters do get all the orders, then they are always going to favor the ones with the highest commission first. So at the very least, customers will know that just scrolling down the list a little will mean that you'll probably get your gear made quicker and cheaper too, you know? That's my idea. Anyway, I think it would help. I'm not a dev,
I didn't think
obviously,
about
so I'm
that.
not pretending
Maybe.
it would be easy to implement. Like,
I mean, it would
everything in
be
game dev is
not
probably
a bad
horrific
choice to do,
implement. I
but
know that, but I will say
something's
this.
better than nothing.
I do actually have faith in Blizz to fix this, based mostly on their much improved and sometimes quite impressive response to player feedback since, well, honestly, patch 9.15. And that's nice, isn't it? Feeling that whether it's something that looks like my idea or not, we're all fairly confident that
Does anyone
something
really
will
trust
change,
Blizz? I
and
mean,
relatively soon.
I think
As
that's it.
usual,
Never
good
tell. Usually
feeling.
have a good
Thank you, Dragonflight. You know, I'm thinking maybe
look
we
on
should,
that thing, but
move our sofa.